Hi, this is Dr. Topper, Global Pharmacovigilance Director at Oracle Health Science Consulting. So in this second video, we will be looking at one of the components of the 4 components of an inspection. The first component we'll be looking at is standardization. So what does standardization really mean? It means that you have set up parameters on how to retrieve data. You've set up the fields, you are looking at them across all similar reports, and if you do introduce a variable, it's with the rationale behind it. So that is standardization. And what the inspectorate wants to see is that you're continuously using the similar parameters. Now, sometimes there may be an aging report, there may be a fatalities report, there may be some other reports that are requested of you. So how do you go about building that report? What often a robust system will do is it will set those reports up for you, meaning that you can create those reports and you can park them and you can have one button access to those reports. Now, if you start to reintroduce variables throughout those reports, you're deviating from that standardization motive. So what the inspector really wants to see is that what is the rationale of how you built the report? Some of the variables you want to put in the report is the unique ID number of the report so that you don't get a lot of duplicates. In your listing, you would also want to put in the product name, the type of reporter, the event or a line listing or a narrative of sorts. You'd want to put in any other actions that you have internally that may describe what happened to the report, such as submission date. And so these are the elements that you would create, and among other things as well, that you would create these reports and park them. And then if the inspector asks you to introduce a variable, you would use these reports and then simply put in another variable. And that is standardization. How we can sometimes have a finding on standardization is that if we willy-nilly introduce variables without justification, or if we don't have a robust system that actually produces a viable report, and then we have to parse these reports, meaning we have to take these reports from the system, put them into a CSV file, put them into an Excel file, play with them a little bit, make them quote unquote pretty, or just remove extraneous data sets like null reports that show up for no reason. And if we're doing that continuously on a manual basis, then you can see where the human error may happen and you don't get a report that looks very standard across all elements. So that was standardization. It is not typically a finding because most people are using these robust safety database systems. But if you aren't using one, or if yours is not that robust, do look into it. Maybe use an external tool to build your report. This is Dr. Topper from Oracle Health Science Consulting. In the next series, I'll be going through the other parameters that make up inspection, and we'll walk through those as well. Thank you for joining me.